I am so glad you made it to Club NGMI Presents with Gump Skull. In honor of Gump Skull, let's get this party started. Gump Skull. Gump Skull. Gump Skull. Gump Skull. Welcome.
What a fantastic intro.
Yeah.
You must put a lot of work into that.
Well, I was off bedtime tonight, so I had about an hour of time to myself, and I missed a dusty mint of some sort. So yeah, I did that. I had that. I had that epiphany of Funk Soul, Gump Skull.
I love it.
Around 5 o'clock. So then I was the best father and partner that I could be. Just chomping at the bit to do the Gump Skull.
That's
bit.
awesome.
Oh, Eric is here. Eric, here's a present for you, Eric. We got the Nike yoga pants, Eric. They are delightful. Oh, okay, Gump. I've been saying it for months. It's NFT winter. Get out your parkas, get your toques, get your bunny hugs. It's getting chilly.
It's cold.
So cold. As a result, you started dabbling around in these DeFi streets, and you found what I think is a decent tool, game, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to mess with today and show people how to get involved in DeFi. So can you give us the 3,000-foot view on what the hell DeFi Kingdoms is?
DeFi Kingdoms it's on the Harmony chain. So it's similar to the Polygon chain, I suppose, in that the gas fees, the draw of it is that transactions and gas are super low. So why that matters is it's a gamified DEX or decentralized exchange. So pretend you made Uniswap or SushiSwap into a game where you have characters and a map and different places you can go and leveling, and you can boost how much your APYs are by leveling up or finding potions. We'll get into more of that, but that's kind of the overview. So it's a fairly new chain to my knowledge. So the rewards we're going to be talking about are very attractive because they are trying to get us to put money onto their platform.
Thank you, Eric. No, I'm not colorblind. I just don't care anymore. That's been the game, Gump, is you find a new chain or a new section and you say, oh, good, like Avalanche. We were all into Avalanche Rush.
Yep.
And Avalanche Rush was fart noise. Which is surprising because they dumped like 50 million into those incentives, but I think just so many people came over that when you slice that pie up, it's nothing.
It's kind of one. It was if it's that easy, why wouldn't everyone do it scenario? And in that case, everyone did it. So our APYs got destroyed, and when you levered up, you got flipped pretty quickly within an hour.
So then Aave, way back when, like Marchish, then Aave was, you think that's first mover, basically, why they were so lucrative for a while? Or do you have a read on that?
I think Avalanche saw how successful they did the Polygon / Matic Rush event, I suppose, and it's one that has one of the highest TVLs in all of DeFi, them and Curve. So it's an obvious choice. You want to make people, when they're already taking a risk going to a new chain to begin with and getting their rewards in your native token, they want to make you feel safe because it's not risky, but it's something new people aren't used to. So it's my theory.
So we got a little Gump jargon alert. He said TVL, that is total value locked. What that means is I'm not smart enough to audit a contract. Gump is not smart enough to audit a contract. But people with a bunch of money are, or they'll pay people to do that. So if there's a lot of money in a one of these DeFi protocols, then you're less likely to get rugged, because if smart money is there, then you're likely safer. So that's where that concept comes from, TVL.
Well, and it buys you more time if there's a dump. It's the dump from a million or $10 million to zero happens a lot faster than a dump from 100 million to zero.
Maybe 10 times faster. Maybe.
It's pretty good math.
I'm good at that. All right. So let's show you a little bit of Harmony, and then we'll dive into DeFi Kingdom. So this is like, we'll call it an intermediate DeFi stream, because what I've done is I've set up a separate MetaMask, seeded it with 0.5 ETH, and we're going to play around with that. So it's brand new. This whole browser is brand new. So my profile is empty. But all that I've already bridged, because that could take a while. But this is the bridge site, bridge.harmony.one. As with anything on the main net of Ethereum, you want to be careful. You want to watch your URLs. You want to make sure they're official URLs. And you want to make sure that the UI looks correct, even though it can be mimicked fairly easily. So that's one fair warning here on DeFi world. So you want to go to bridge.harmony.one, and then you'll bridge over your Ethereum. And you'll see right now I've got 0.09. I'm not going to bridge, but you would see it here, and then you click continue, and then it's a regular transaction from Ethereum over to Harmony. What happens next is you need to go to the Harmony RPC. I don't even know what RPC means. But do you know what RPC means, Gump? Relay protocol, something?
Nope, was just about to look it up.
Great. I saw you like move your hand towards the keyboard. So
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. RPC is how you talk to Harmony, which is a side chain. It's not a layer 2, it's a side chain from Ethereum. So you can move your Ethereum over to Harmony, and then you're in Harmony world. And then you got to go through like a magical portal like Mario would, and then you can come back to the main net of Ethereum if you would like to. So that's what bridging basically is. Message me on Twitter or Gump on Twitter if you have questions about how to get the RPC. We'll send you the right link to get it, to enter in the data into your MetaMask. You can change your RPC. You can't see my MetaMask. I would open it up, but there's on the top, it says Ethereum network, and then you can change it to, you see Rinkeby, Coven, Ropsten, that kind of thing. Those are different networks that you can attach your MetaMask to, and those are different RPCs. So Harmony is just one of those. You'll hook that up, and then you're going to have fun with DeFi Kingdoms. So I need to stop sharing real quick, because there is an important part of DeFi Kingdoms that Gump was very upset that at one point I wasn't sharing. So we'll get there in a moment. We'll set up our whole account from scratch with DeFi Kingdoms. So hold on one second. So Gump, actually, how did you come across DeFi Kingdoms while we're doing this?
Yeah, so in our Discord, this is actually CryptoStorm. He mentioned it like 3 weeks ago. Like, hey, I found this game. I looked at it, watched a couple videos on it. At the time, we were still in NFT fall. So I was like, oh no, I'm going to focus on watching the highway, waiting for stuff to mint. Then when we entered winter, I'm like, okay, we need to find new edge. So I remembered he mentioned it, went back to it. Saw a couple fairly popular DeFi YouTubers had been doing videos about it. So I kind of got caught up that way. And then once you get into it, you get kind of sucked into checking your stuff every day. So
that's true. We do like it when number goes up. So all right, let's go. Gump, I'll give you a note. You don't need to mute your mic. I think you're fine now before, because before it was a pain in the ass, but you're good now.
Sure.
All right, so we are on defikingdoms.com, and we're going to play within here. So DeFi in itself is nerdy. DeFi Kingdoms is super nerdy. In our DMs, Gump goes, oh, this is like Pokemon. And I'm like, I'm not that kind of nerd. So yeah, maybe there's some Pokemon threads that you can weave in there, Gump, when you see it. So
for sure.
All right, when you first log in and click play, you get this delightful music. So while you're here playing with your bankroll, you can kind of relax. Gump, true or false? Have you actually left this tab open while playing music?
Oh, 100%. We'll get to the different spots, but the guard music is by far the best.
Wait, there are different...
Oh, there's different music for every area, dude. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Gump, what should we call our character? Because I actually already have one.
How about
Chat, any
Ruggleman?
ideas? Ruggleman, okay.
Yeah.
What best? Here, let's crank that. Ooh,
I
think
can't
we're gonna
remember
go
which
here.
one I picked because you can't really see them yet.
Yeah, they'll get there. You'll see.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go be Ruggleman, and then you can't see it, but there is a MetaMask transaction I'm gonna do, and it's 0.0021, which is the native token over here in Harmony, which is literally fractions of a penny.
Pennies. Yeah.
Office space style fractions of a penny. All right, so we're gonna make our account here, and then we're gonna land in DeFi. So Gump, you direct me. What are we looking at here?
Okay, so one, you made a good comment about the transactions. So like you do on Polygon, your transaction fees, you pay with Matic. Here you pay with, it's called One, ONE. When you bridge, we talked about the bridge earlier, they actually airdrop you a little portion so you can do a couple transactions instead of, I know we've seen before, people bridge over to Matic and they're like, I don't have any Matic, I can't do a transaction. You have to go to a website and get some. Okay, this is the main map. So start on the bottom left, the tavern. That is where you will buy and sell heroes. We'll get into heroes later, I think. That's a future feature that makes what the game is going to be. So this is where you can rent them, buy them, sell them. If we go back to the map, we don't have to click into the professions. That's where you go on quests. That ties into heroes. Same with the portal. Those three things are on the map. The functionality is not live yet. They're doing it in phases. The three most important features to get started today is the marketplace. So let's go there first.
Love it.
Okay, so the point of this game is to make money and have fun. So to do that, we need to take the ETH that we bridged over and convert it to the game's native token, which is Jewel. So we're going to want to retain some of our One token. That's the Harmony chain token. And we're going to want to get some jewels. Jewels are the currency of the game.
So Lou's asking a good question. How much do we need to play this game reasonably? The great part of most side chains, if not all side chains or layer twos right now, is transactions are really, really cheap. So your returns or your losses will be proportional to how much you put in. So of course, only put in how much money you're willing to lose, et cetera, et cetera. But I did half an ETH here for demonstration purposes, and so we'll see what that looks like. Philly is saying massive Pokemon vibes. I do not. I generally don't understand why the chat is horny right now. They're talking about farmers only. What is that about?
He's talking about a Ponzi farm that came up a while back called Farmers Only Farms.
I see. No, did Farmers Only have music like this?
No, they didn't. Okay, back to the marketplace. So we have two little guys we can talk to. The first one's a trader. That's where we want to go first. Yep. So we're going to take our ETH.
Our ETH?
Your ETH, the channel's ETH, maybe?
No, it's mine.
So we're not going to want to convert all of it to Jewel right away, because our next stop is going to be the gardens, which is where we can talk about liquidity pools. We don't have to go through the whole concept of the liquidity pool unless you want to, Dangy. But you're going to want equal parts of Jewel and One.
And that's equal parts denominated in ETH, correct? Like it's not like I want 185 Jewel and 185 One.
Yeah. So when you're converting, so I would even do a little bit less. I'd do like 0.19, 0.19, so we have a little one left over for gas.
Sure. I'll do that next time.
So we can do, half of it to Jewel, and then we'll do another one where we do the other half to the One token.
So that first transaction, you'll notice I didn't change my balance because that was just approving, just saying, hey, weird ass DeFi Kingdoms game, you can do stuff with my money, basically. So
Yep.
we're familiar with that if you're in Ethereum world. Basically, if you're in NFT world, the set approval to all when you're trying to move NFTs around. Okay, so now we're going to do 0.19. This 1 ETH, it's like, think of it of like, okay, the people are doing math already. I left 0.1 over on the ETH side for gas on Ethereum side. So I started with 0.5. I bridged 0.4 over. Now we're at 0.4. Would you all relax in the chat? My God.
Awfully picky.
It's tough crowd. So one thing to note is things look, it's like an altered universe when you go to these sidechains sometimes. You'll see ETH in WETH. You'll see ETH with different denominations next to it. This is oh, great. Price change. This is 1 ETH because it's in the one world, ONE, but they are cute and just put the number 1.
Yep.
So don't get freaked out about that. All right, we're going to do 0.19 and we're going to do this. This is what I was looking for before the show, this add Jewel to MetaMask. Love this. So I'm going to go ahead and add Jewel as a token because otherwise you're going to have to manually add it, find the contract for Jewel, yada, yada, yada. We don't love that. I'm clicking way too quickly now. So we've got one pending over here, and that's going to be our
there we go.
Swap over to Jewel. And we want to do the same thing on the one side, correct?
Yep.
0.19 to 1. And
what's it?
Here's where it gets also confusing. It's not WONE, right?
Yeah, this is
it's ONE.
Yep. So the current price of the 1 token is 25 cents. So most of the gas for these is 0.0071. So you are talking about 0.0017 cents for a transaction.
I mean, I
it's not.
Shout out to the chat. You guys are lit even for this nerdy DeFi game. I appreciate it. Eric, for those watching in the future, no, I will not share the QR code for my MetaMask. That's how you'll get all my 0.5 or 0.4. I'll never tell you how much I have. Okay, so now I would show you, but on my assets I have 3,001 and 176 Jewel and 0.02 1 ETH. So
yeah,
don't worry about all that.
If you click your character's photo, so if you get out of this screen and you click your character's photo top left, this will give you your Jewel balance, the Jewel price. It doesn't give you your 1 balance, but it does have some figures. If you want to check the Jewel price quick, you can get it here.
Love checking the Jewel price.
Love it. Okay, so we have our tokens. We want to get some LP or liquidity pool tokens. And we can do them here, or we can do them in the gardens. Let's just do it here since we're here. So we'll go talk to our other friend.
Oh, no, don't want to click that. All right, we'll go to the Druid. Don't worry about what it is. The Druid equals liquidity pool. So we're not going to create a pair because we're not that cool. We're not cool enough to make those. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to click this plus liquidity. So what we're doing here, we'll do a brief explanation of what a liquidity pool is. Basically, I'm going to be providing part of the Jewel and part of the 1 for people to trade against. So people can buy my Jewel and then they can buy my 1, and we're just going back and forth and keeping water level. We know water wants to be level. That's basically what this market wants to be, in the middle. And for us essentially staking those tokens, we're going to get a small percentage, but a percentage of the transaction fees. So what does that really mean? Providing liquidity here, as more and more folks hopefully use this platform, we'll make more money. That's the idea.
In addition to the normal LP rewards, they're also giving out a ton of Jewel because it's the early phases of the game. So think of it as an early adopter bonus that you're getting for providing the liquidity as well.
That's a good point. So let me ask the chat, is the music too loud? Because I'm cutting it off because I know sometimes when you rip packs, it's very loud.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let me know. Is it too loud, Gun?
It's fine for me, but I also thought my audio last stream was fine and it was not. So
yeah, whatever. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some liquidity. So tip, you'll leave pool tokens.
Yep.
Representing your position. So great.
I always
Scott's
max
saying
the
lower.
jewel.
Ooh.
I max the jewel so you have some one left over. So you'll have the price changed. So we'll want to go down. Just do your one at
I'll do 3,000.
Yeah. And you'll have, that's enough one to play the game for a year.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do
another approval
jewel
transaction. Yeah. And you only have to do these once. Once you approve the game to spend your jewel and your one time, you do not have to continue doing it.
There we go. 0.2% is what we get.
Perfect.
All right. So I've approved it. Now I'm going to supply it, and I'm going to get 687 of these 1/jewel pool tokens. And this is where I got a little confused in the past because I thought I was done at this point, and I'm not done. I have the tokens. I've converted my jewel token and my 1 token into a jewel 1 token, and I know that's confusing, but I'm not staking it yet. So, how do we go stake it?
We're going to go to our favorite part of the map, which is the gardens. And that's where we can deposit our liquidity pool tokens. So I always think of it as the liquidity pool tokens just represents your share of the pool. Okay. So first thing you do when you get here, you say hi to the bunnies. The bunnies are always hopping around. There's 3 of them. You see them on the top right there. They're great.
Can you interact with them? I want to click on them.
You can't, unfortunately. You may see this music is much more relaxing.
Yeah, we can talk over this.
Okay, so we can go to this druid here, and what we'll see, sometimes the screen can take a couple seconds to load because of the congestion, but if you scroll down, these are all of the pools that you have available to you. So we did the Jewel 1 token, and that's because it has the highest reward ratio at the moment. That's because it just got cut after Epoch 8.
Our APR is plummeting.
So you could do Jewel UST, Jewel ETH, Jewel Bitcoin, whatever you want. And you see the TBLs there, the total deposited.
Yeah.
And if we go, see how the Jewel 1 has 69 million? It's a really nice amount in the pool right now. And some of the other ones are a little less.
I don't love this part of the UI, I got to say, because I'll be looking at it, then I got to scroll again.
Yeah, this part is a little glitchy. It's gotten better for me, I feel like, since I started.
Eric, that is 2,000%. That is
2,000% APR.
Yeah, it's not like Europe notation where there's commas versus period. It's a big number.
So if we go down, find our Jewel 1, click deposit. So this is where the LP tokens we just got, we're going to deposit them in the pool and start earning our Jewel rewards. So you scroll down just a tiny bit.
I got an idea for the music, so hold on.
Okay.
I just cranked up your volume. Okay. Scroll down to click deposit Jewel LP tokens.
Yep. I think you might. Yeah, you'll have to do one last approval here, like we've done twice now. It just lets the game spend. Sometimes I do get failures on this screen if it disappears, but it should go through.
Yeah, it's still pending. That's all right. We can just vibe.
Oh, the vibes on here are great. This is the tab that I'll leave open sometimes. Perfect. I'm telling you, you get addicted to the tunes, man. They're good.
Okay.
All right, so click back, and it'll let you. Oh, now we got it. Okay,
I clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, just go back, and back to deposit.
Okay, there it is. Okay, now we're gonna do max.
Max it.
Finish that transaction.
Oh, did you click approve already?
Yeah.
This is where I got hung up the first time when it disappears like that.
Yeah. Well, it's still blockchain though, right? So as long as you click submit on that transaction, it's going to go. Like,
Yeah, it
the
goes.
UI is fine, but who cares? It doesn't
Perfect.
mean
We're in.
it doesn't really mean that much.
We are done.
So, what is the emission rate? What does that mean?
So the emission rate is, remember earlier when I said the early adopter bonus? They have cranked up how much Jewel is being rewarded to liquidity providers in the early phases of the game. Look at that. We're already printing money. It's just like crank the wheel. So do we want to talk about the locking now?
I was going to go there. Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll let you go there.
Oh, sure. So, basically, the unlocked part is the money that you can claim now, and the locked part you cannot. This is a very common mechanic for a lot of these DeFi systems, where one big one was Flow recently had their a large unlock for their token. So there's a big mechanic within DeFi Kingdoms, which is based on an epoch, which is essentially a set period of time, but it's based upon blocks that are mined. Don't worry about it, just consider it time. They're changing the lock versus unlock ratio. So what they're trying to do is incentivize you to do a lot of different things, mostly to keep you interested and keep money in the ecosystem here. So that makes sense, and that's why there's a game within DeFi, but also this nice game UI in DeFi Kingdoms. So the locked unlocked, basically you don't have access to that money, the locked money, for a while, is basically what you need to think about. But the other thing to think about is with that epoch thing that I mentioned. Recently it shifted from 80-20, where 80 was locked and 20 was unlocked, to 81-19, or did I get that mixed up?
Yeah, it was like 83-17 and now it's 81. There's a couple websites we can post that have the schedule. So like the next change. So today, if you claim this right now, 81% would be locked. If you waited until a week from today, 21% would be unlocked. So as time goes on, you'll be able to claim it and get more. So it's kind of, there's two different schools of thought. One is, well, I'm just going to wait a couple months to claim it, and that way when I claim it, it's more of it's unlocked. But what I've been doing personally is claiming like once a day. It's only 20% that I'm getting that's unlocked, but I'll convert that immediately back to more liquidity pool tokens. So you can kind of do the math yourself, decide what your own strategy is, but
That's called compounding.
Yeah, hyper compounding they call it.
Why is it hyper versus just compounding? Because it's quicker than like TradFi compounding?
Yeah, compounding in traditional finance is once a month. When you pay your mortgage, your interest compounds monthly. This you can compound it 5 times a day if you want, because the transactions are so cheap. So there are ways to unlock your Jewel later. Stacked toads, we don't want to talk about them today.
No, it's good vibes only. Good vibes only.
There was a good question, Dangy, I thought. Scott asked, any reason to do Jewel one over another? So I talked about how the game has cranked up the reward ratios. If you go back to the Druid real quick, so if you do pool reward allocation rate, 2%, 0.9%, yeah, it's the third. So go down to the Jewel one and you'll see.
$60.
60% of the, so they've said we have 5 million Jewel to give out as a promotion for getting in this game early. 60% of that, we're just giving it away essentially, is going to go if you invest in this pool. So you can do other pools. Your rewards will just be smaller.
Got it. So I was looking at the APR, but that's not really the right number. That's not the big number that you care about the most in this world.
That's the APR in a traditional liquidity pool sense. So the exchange fees, right? That's your APR. But what we care about today, not necessarily in 6 months if we're still playing this, is the pool reward allocation. They're both important,
Okay.
but
So
that's why we all picked that pool.
So if we go here, that's why this unclaimed jewel is going up so fast. Is that
Correct.
60%?
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I think. Well, we made a little mistake. We didn't leave any jewel to talk about the bank.
Ooh. Well,
So
why
I'm gonna
don't you just claim it right now?
Yeah, let's claim
Well,
this.
okay. You could do it here, or a faster way, if you
Ooh.
don't want to wait for all the pools to load, is we go to our little claim. So hold on, we go back to the gardens.
Oh.
And our little claim friend who's going and picking our flowers. Our flowers are our jewels. So if you just click claim, this will tell you quickly what you have. So click claim all. This will tell you how much you have. You can claim.
This is the important part with one of the important parts with locked is July 15th. Set your calendars. Get PTO. It's gonna be a big day if you're a jeweler because your money is literally stuck here until then. Not your money. Some of your money is.
And even when we get to July 15th, it doesn't all unlock on one day. That would cause a mega crash. It's a slow unlock period over the last half of 2022.
Which we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. So we're gonna go claim this. That cost me 0.0041. So I think I'm actually still making money on claiming this somehow, even though it was like a minute or two.
That's 0.001 cents, and we had 0.06 joule.
Oh,
but we made 26 cents in I don't know, a couple minutes maybe. It's a bargain.
That's so stupid. Okay, so we have a little bit of jewel. Actually, we have 710, so that's good. Oh no, I haven't seen this UI feature. The mouse over to show you USD.
We don't talk about USD here. We just
I
talk
don't
about
like
jewels.
that. Oh. Yeah,
we didn't even need to claim because we left some jewel left over. But
that's fine. All right, so we'll go over to the bank.
Okay, the bank music's
like
bad. Bank music's
don't
bad.
like the vibes.
Yeah. Bank. So, do you want to talk about the bank, Dangy?
Sure. It's basically a TradFi bank, with some extreme numbers, essentially. So here's what the bank is: you can deposit your money, you can claim your rewards, which would be your APY/APR, depending on how you do the math on it, and you can withdraw your money, so you can take it out. So let's show you what that looks like. We'll deposit, and I'm not going to do 7. We'll do 5 jewel. And back in the approve world, click on OK for the transaction. See, now I missed the music.
I told you.
Okay. So now we're going to do 5 and we're going to deposit. So I'm going to show you what it looks like to deposit your money because it gets I was confused about this specific part of why it was a different number because while that's processing, we'll show you here. I have Joule and I have X Joule. So what is X Joule?
X Joule will pretend that X equals staked. So X Joule just represents your staked portion of Joule. And you see the multiplier right below that? 1 X Joule equals 1.523 Joule. That 1.523, that figure goes up every hour based on how much is put in the bank. So there's a website we can share later. It pulls that ratio every hour and it shows you how it's built. So 24 hours ago, right now it's 1.5225. 24 hours ago, it was 1.520. So the goal is you put your Joule in at 1.523. And then a week you come back and now it's 1.6. So that's how you make your APR, is that ratio will slowly go up, up, and up. And right now the bank APR is about 51%. So it's a little less than we're used to, but it's still pretty good.
Oh yeah. 51% APR.
Yeah.
Oh, a little less than we're used to.
Yep.
Uh, so here's how dumb I am. I put in 5 Jewel in the bank. Eventually, if I wait long enough, this number that I have, X Jewel that I have staked, is going to surpass my Jewel number. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's always going to show your X Jewel, but if you were to withdraw that right now, which I wouldn't recommend doing because there is a penalty if you do
Yeah,
it right now,
I'm not
you have
going to do
to
it.
you have to wait a certain number of blocks before the penalty goes away. It would go back to 5.
Oh,
Yeah, so
got
you
it.
put it in, it takes it down to the 1 ratio, and then when you take it back out, whatever that multiplier is, instantly goes back up. So the goal
Got it.
would be, I watched a video today of a guy that talked about DeFi Kingdoms a month ago, and that 1.52, it was like 1.08. So if he was pumping Jewel into the bank a month ago, he's already made his 50% in a month, if that makes any sense. So
It does.
the goal is to come back to the bank every day and you watch that number on the right there go up a little bit every single day. It's been going up around 0.2% a day.
So the decision to put money in the bank versus the liquidity pool is basically the bank is more stable, but lower, and so lower
Yeah.
risk in the bank essentially. Um, Liquidity pool, you're able to hyper compound a little bit easier than in the bank, and so you can just ramp up your earnings, if you will, your earnings of
Hmm.
the Jewel token. And so in true Dangy fashion, this is my perspective on the whole thing. If the Jewel token wins, if the Jewel um, ecosystem is winning, money's going to go up. Um, if people don't like Jewel, or for whatever reason the cost of Jewel goes down, the price, then you're earning a thing called Jewel. Then who cares if the price of Jewel is going down? So that's kind of the risk that we're one of the risks that we're dealing with over here in this pretty beautiful game that we're playing. Is that a fair characterization, Gump?
Yeah, and the other benefit to the bank, this would mostly apply to our whales in the crowd, is they do raffles and giveaways for people that hold a certain number of Jewel or X
Hmm.
Jewel in the bank. So they're giving away plots of land at the end of the year. If you have over 5,000 Jewel, X Jewel in the bank by I think December 15th, you get a raffle ticket. Um, like I said, Jewel's at $4.50. So it's a pretty hefty amount to be playing around with for myself. But if you were playing at that level, it would be an incentive to put money into the bank.
Got it. Yeah. As we all know, people love land, and then eventually, I mean, you've been deep in this white paper. So land has utility because when there's an actual true game, people will fight each other on your land, and you'll get some money out of that. Like you'll get the vig, basically. Is that right?
Yeah, I think land might make more sense if we went through heroes. So the heroes are kind of the core of the game. But going back to the land, you essentially will own your own shop or your own town. You can build buildings on your land. People can come to your land to forage or buy stuff from you. They can fight you on your land for jewel. There's a lot of the white paper doesn't give a ton of detail on what the land is used for, but some of the valuations I've seen tossed around in their Discord are like insane. We're talking like 10 ETH for a plot of land to put it
Hmm.
in ETH terms. So yeah, it's pretty
That's pretty good.
nuts.
So let's talk heroes. What are the heroes? And some of them exist already.
Yeah, so the core of the game is going to run on these things called heroes, and they're on these little cards right now. Um, each hero has, let me see if I can find a good example.
Are there any
And
heroes in the actual UI of DeFi Kingdoms?
not yet. There will be when the tavern is live, and that's where we can buy and sell these things.
Ah, yes, the tavern.
So I have one up on the screen, and I can either send you the link or I can share. It's up to you.
You share, that'd be great, because I
Okay.
mean, we'll take away the music, but we'll like to see a hero, I think.
I feel like I know how to do this now from Club Top Shot, so it's nice.
There you go.
Okay. Are we good? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do the heroes do? They do a couple things. Um, the end game of the game is peer-to-peer fighting for jewel prices. What they're going to do in the near term is each hero has a specialty, I guess. So, like I said to you, Danny, this reminds me of the game Pokemon. We have fire types, water types, and they all do something better than the other.
Ah,
So this is an example of a Generation 1 hero. Now, back in late September, early October, they put out 2,000 Gen 0 heroes. So think of it like Z horses. The Genesis horses, they can breed other horses, but each breed generation you go down, the performance drops, right? They're
got it.
still good, they have use, so we can breed these heroes together, which the mechanics of that are very deep. We won't go through them all. Point being, these heroes are going to play a role because it's going to allow a user to make more jewel in various ways. So this hero, for example, they come in different rarities. I'm not 100% sure. There's stat boosts for each rarity, so on and so forth. And you will be able to buy these next week in the tavern. So they all have different skills. This is the most
Are you?
important thing.
How are you going to buy the hero? What currency is that? Jewel
It's
again?
all in Jewel. Yeah. So I think there's a peer-to-peer Discord, which I never recommend doing peer-to-peer transactions because you can get scammed very easily. But the rates for these Gen Zeros are 5,000, 6,000 Jewel. Jewel's at 450. It's almost 18, $20,000. There's reasons why the Gen Zeros are worth more. But the most important part, if you're looking to buy one of these, and I will be when they come out, I think a few of us will be, is these professions. Remember, we saw professions on the map.
Yeah.
Each hero has a specialty: mining, gardening, fishing, foraging. The one we're going to be interested in is mining. What does mining do? You're going to be able to take this hero that you own, send it out into the world, and they're going to mine your locked jewel and convert it to unlocked jewel. And there's a high premium on the miners for that reason. So you make this investment to realize your gains on your locked jewel a lot faster. Gardening, you send them into your garden, they will increase your APRs when you do that. Love the miners. I love the miners as well. Fishing and foraging are the two that probably aren't talked about as much because the details of them are a little fuzzier. They play more into the midterm mechanics of the game. So fishing, as I understand it, you'll be able to fish for equipment, things you give your hero to boost its stats, which boosts how much it can mine or how much it can garden, how fast it can fish, how long it can mine, how long it can garden at a time before it needs to recharge. And then foraging, a similar concept to fishing. Again, mechanics of these are kind of fuzzy. You will send this thing out to purchase or to find ingredients to make potions, etc. Teach a knight how to fish, he eat for life. It's true.
Lou gets
So,
it.
so the two that I'm most interested in right off the bat are going to be mining and gardening. I think there will be a bit of a benefit if you have patience, which I don't, to buy fishers and foragers.
That's what I was just thinking. That's my read, because that's the
Yeah,
unknown, right? That's
yeah.
we know what mining is going to do. We know that's going to be great to get your jewel
Mm-hmm.
early, to basically get it out and get it working for you or taking profit. So we all want to do that. in all likelihood. We understand gardening because that'll upgrade your LP percentage, more rewards. Got that. Because the fishing and foraging are unclear, that's what really interests me more as an investor, because then potentially get in cheaper. And then when there is utility for those fishers or the foragers, then they're worth more. But like you mentioned, it's going to be patience for those. So yeah, that's a hard play. I guess, like you mentioned,
Yep.
it depends on your price point. Like if you're a whale, it kind of makes sense to go for the miners early, and then it's all playing markets, right? It's, you want to sell the miner while the miners are still the hot thing, but you've
Yep.
gotten the utility out of it, and then move on to the next the next roll that's going to pump.
Yeah. And if you see this level 1 at the top, they're all level 1 right now because we haven't been able to do quests to level them up. So there's also going to be a meta that I think I played the game Crypto Blades back a few months back, and there was each character started at 0. You could buy the level 0 guys on the marketplace for really cheap. And then if you really went to the grind and leveled them up, you could get a huge premium just by taking the time to level them up and sell them for more. And when you level these heroes up, like I said before, you'll get more unlocked jewel for a miner. You'll have bigger increase on your APRs. You'll find more stuff when you go foraging, or you'll catch more fish. And there's a lot of people like me who are impatient, who want to kind of skip the grind phase and pay a premium just
Ray,
to
what are you sending me? 2 minutes left, 50. Oh, the auction
for
thing.
the
Thank you,
auction.
Ray. Jesus, just give me more than like 2 minutes 50 ETH. It's 2 minutes for me to get 50 ETH. No. Okay. Sorry, everybody.
So that's another
Raise.
avenue to profit I've seen in other games, where if you take the time, these guys have a stamina bar, so you send your miner out for an hour, his stamina is drained, or hers. You have to wait a certain amount of time to recharge it. If you're setting an alarm on your phone, I used to get up in the middle of the night when Farmville was a thing and harvest my grapes when I was like 14 years old. If you do the same thing here, you're going to level up faster than others and sell for premium.
So you said heroes are out next week. Is hero functionality out next week as well?
No. So I asked that in the Discord today. Heroes buying, selling will come out Monday or Tuesday. And then they said 2 to 3 weeks after that is when quests go live. And that's when we start to see Jewel being spent. It costs Jewel to breed these heroes together. So I've been looking at the roadmap to see, okay, we, like ETH, we want to see deflationary action, something the stacked toads never did. Because when it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Half of Eric had a question, which is why is Jewel in one? Why are they worth money? One is how you transact, so it's basically how you pay your gas to move transactions around on this network. And the question for Jewel is, here I want vibes. Hold on.
Oh yeah, vibe us up.
The question for Jewel is, how are we closing that loop, if you will? Where is it going to be sunk into? And so they're stacking up reasons, to burn that Jewel, as Trons is mentioning in the chat. So breeding is going to be one. Actually playing the actual game once that's in play is going to be one.
The transaction fee. So there's going to be a transaction fee when you buy and sell a hero. So think on OpenSea, when we sell an NFT, 2.5% goes to OpenSea, or we do an Ethereum transaction, the gas part of that gets burnt. So I don't know if it will be burnt necessarily, but it's going to go back into the treasury. So there will be less considered in circulation at the time. And the more that the game controls, the less that we all have to dump, is the simple way of putting it.
Yeah.
There was another good question I think Eric asked. Concern about the stability of Jewel price once miners can come and unlock a bunch of Jewel. So I had the same concern. We don't know the rate at which the miners will unlock the Jewel. Based on all the AMAs I've listened to, white paper I've read, I don't think that the designers are going to make them overpowered. I think if anything, they're going to receive complaints that they aren't unlocking things fast enough. If they come out and they're able to unlock 100 jewel a day, then it is what it is. I'm just kind of taking the bet that that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, that's a very fine line for them to toe.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I guess if you're the team, what would the messaging be like? I'm not telling you how much they're going to cost. I'm not telling you how to price them. The community is. So I'm not charging you 20,000 or whatever in USD for these heroes. So I think that's the right play long term is for the team to not have a super high unlock just to keep price stable. So you need a little drip of unlock to keep people interested, I guess.
Yeah. And that the mining is a feature of a hero. It is not even its primary purpose. The primary purpose of these heroes is for the end game, which is peer-to-peer fighting, right?
I'm very interested in actually the visuals of the heroes and like, can I get a PFP out of it? Because if I have a hero and that hero is doing his or her job, I'm gonna be with that hero loud and proud. It's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna love that. That's gonna be my favorite PFP I've ever had.
Yep.
If this game goes off. All right, so we've covered a decent amount. We've covered what Harmony is. We've covered what DeFi Kingdoms is. We've covered liquidity pools. We've covered the bank. We've covered heroes. We've covered mining. We've covered foraging, fishing. What else do the people need to know, at least to get involved, or any other kind of pitfalls that you could see here? I guess we didn't show any charts or anything on Jewel or One.
Yeah, I can pull those up. So there's a couple links that have share screen.
Wait, I'm going to check on my LP. Here's my problem. I'm going to have 2 LPs now, and this is going to be double the work. Oh, God. Going to have to change that. Yeah, so I got 0.2 Joule. Look at that.
Just making money. Just sitting here. So, okay, the pitfalls. This is a new chain. It's very, very new. This is a chart that I like to look at. A couple things. This liquidity chart, that's our TBL of the whole game. So there's $156 million that's in this game ecosystem right now.
And is that a big number, a small number, or a medium number?
Relative to, I mean, I've looked at regular Ponzi farms that maybe last a day or two, and they get to 500,000. I've seen others that have gotten to 50 million or 100 million. To compare it to something like Aave or Curve, right there in the hundreds of millions.
That's not fair.
Right. It's a different game. For something this new, I think I'm biased. It's a pretty good number, and you see the chart, it only goes up. Jewel price, one price, those are the 2 most important things. Everything else here is the same as you'd see on the Ethereum network.
Got it.
The other thing I wanted to mention is the reward rates we talked about in the garden. We talked about the lock-unlock rate. That changes every week, every epoch. It goes, you get a little more unlocked. The trade-off is the reward emissions go down a little bit. So it's kind of if you get in early, you're going to be rewarded more than if you get in a week from now. It sounds like a used car salesman, and it might be, but it is the purpose of the reward system is to get people in early, get their jewel in, get them earning rewards, get them hooked on the game like they've done to me. So those are 2 things I would think about. I would highly recommend reading the entire white paper. It seems boring at first, but you understand the game so much more. Like Lou said, we're so early. You understand the game so much more when you read it all, and it kind of gets you excited about the stuff that they're going to be implementing.
for sure. And they're even talking about other chains. I just scrolled through their
Ooh,
Twitter
yeah.
account.
Hmm.
Somebody asked about Avalanche, and they sent an excited GIF of some bear, maybe a dog playing a guitar. I don't know. It's very confusing. Um,
Uh-huh.
Lou, we'll pull back this curtain. This is part of why I wanted to do the stream, was so that Gump can explain his white paper knowledge to me, and he's done that. And also, let's put it another way. People learn differently. So Gump, I think, is good at reading and comprehending that way. Some people might want it. See, Scott gets it in an audio version. Hey Gump, would you? What if you read the white paper with at the gardens? Put you on the gun.
I mean, you can get into like the breeding formulas of how the stats get boosted and stuff, but that would put everybody to sleep. So I think we've given the nuts and bolts, like what you need to know today. And then once you get in, you can go in their Discord and follow the announcements. And everyone in there sounds cliche, but super nice and helpful. Every time I ask a question, they'll answer it right away. The other thing I would say is only put in what you are comfortable losing. I think that's the overarching theme. So it's fun. It's fun to see your jewel balance go up, but Gumpreet's white paper's a podcast. I like that.
I mean, I'm into that. I think it's a great idea. Yeah. So we are obviously, both of us, I think, are pretty bullish on this platform. Um, it's not even. Here's why I really like it. I like the educational part of crypto and of NFTs and of DeFi, and this is like sneakily teaching you how to do this stuff. Because now when you see, oh, I go to the Druid to do liquidity pool stuff, and I click these buttons, got it. Now when you go to Sushi Swap to go do that, you're like, oh, it's like that Druid, but there's no cool music, but it's almost the same thing. So you kind
Yeah,
of get the concept a little bit better. Um, yes, Tony, I was bullish on Mintopoly, and I had fun with Mintopoly. It's a little different. So yeah, thank you. We all have winners and losers, Tony. If you don't have losers, then you're not trying hard enough, I guess is how I'd go there.
it's true.
Eric, no, we're not going to answer that question. Uh, if you have serious questions, we'd be happy to DM with you about that, to talk about your personal financial situation, to see what that looks like. But yeah, I think this is the other reason why I like this is it's on Harmony and low gas fees. So you're not paying $30 to get your liquidity pool rewards. You could just try it out. So I say give it a shot if you want, just to get used to what it looks like to be in a liquidity pool, to be in a bank, to have these big percentages and what that feels like. So that's where I'm at. Gump, do you have any other parting words or thoughts on DeFi Kingdoms?
No, the only other benefit I didn't mention is all your money grows tax free in here. So no taxes on the gains. Just kidding. That's sarcasm, part of the bit. But no, I think there's a lot of stuff that they're going to do. They have a 10 or 15 person team, which is kind of bullish to me. We see a lot of projects in the NFT space have one or two people, devs. They're taking naps or not at their computer. Bots are invading their Discord, scamming people. This team, I've listened to all of them speak. They sound extremely committed to the game. This is their full-time job to do this game. That's always something that I look for. Is sounds kind of corny, but the people who are making this product, I feel, are important in this scenario.
Oh, for sure. You're trusting them with a lot of your money. One question was, can you do this on regular sushi? Yes, sushi supports Harmony Chain. You'll see it's down here because I shrunk my screen here. Up top, you'll see what chain you're on. It's Harmony, and you could switch around to a different one. That's fine. But yeah, you can swap from one to Jewel. I was doing that before I was in the marketplace because I didn't know what to do. But then you can also add liquidity from one and then
Yep.
Jewel, and you're doing the same thing. It's just a front end. I'd have to
Yeah,
add the token, but whatever.
you'd have to import it. That's the great thing. They've made this all in their game. You don't have to go to another site to buy the token and then bring it in and transfer it. It's all contained in one game. It is the biggest decentralized exchange on Harmony right now. It is the Uniswap of Harmony at this current time, based on the TVL. Has the most of any Harmony exchange locked in it.
With great vibes. Can't stress that enough.
Great vibes. One hero is one hero.
That's right. If you have further questions, we live in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. We live in Club NGMI Discord underneath the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Also, get after us on Twitter at Dangywing, at GumpSkull5. Thank you, Gump, for taking some time out to chat.
Sure.
DeFi Kingdoms. I believe once Heroes come out, or maybe in 1 or 2 weeks before when we know more about Heroes, we should chat again about DeFi Kingdoms and get a status update. That'd be great for me.
For sure.
All right, everybody. Gump Skull. Gump Skull. Gump Skull. Gump Skull.